Oh, man. Oh, man. So what has my coach and y'all's pastor, what has he been up to? Is that right? Is he still chasing the demons? The demons within himself? Is he still being surrounded by his imaginary demons? Did he not receive counseling when he was in prison? Are these some demons that have been self-imposed after prison, post-prison? Are these demons that he's created? All right. Are some of these demons just enemies? Are these enemies that he has created? Now, not all enemies are demons. Yes. Sometimes we, and by we I mean Tim, right? When he says we made a decision on painting the mobile home, when he says we made a decision about the roofing, we know that when he says we, he means Tim. Yes. Okay. And so we understand that he's created certain enemies. He has created certain enemies, some within his family and some outside of his family. Yes, I'm not sure. Is it more inside the family with the niece, nephews, aunts and uncles, mama, dada? Or does he have more enemies outside of the family as far as the contractors, cook, the boys, etc.? I'm not sure. Yes, but we do understand that he's still chasing his demons. Is that right? What else? What else has he been up to? Is that right? So he was forcing little Benjamin to learn how to use a paintbrush. Is that right? Was little Benjamin all into it? Yes. It didn't appear as though he was into it. Yes. You can see the anger on Benjamin's face. Yes. I couldn't tell, was he more angered by his dad trying to force him to do some painting in the presence of his mama? Come on, Mama Bear. Step in. Okay, tell Tim that's a little bit too much. Yes? Okay, you can just shake your head a little bit, Megan. We know you don't have a choice in it, Megan. Yes? But I couldn't tell, was he more angry about his dad trying to force him to do something? Or was he angry about the parts that his dad imposed upon his head? Yes? About those half-inch parts that he put into his little boy's head? Yes? Was little Benjamin more angry about that? Good gracious, yes? Now, first of all, not only did Tim mess up the parts, and that's why they're so wide, that's why they're so thick, yes? But what 1-year-old boy needs parts whatsoever? Did little Benjamin ask for parts? Now you're going to tell us little Benjamin he wanted parts. Just like that one time you said, well, little Benjamin was at the door and he was saying, Daddy, Daddy. Little boy that doesn't speak. Little boy that's barely audible unless he's being slapped in the face, yes? We do hear some stuff from time to time, yes? But a little boy that's barely audible supposedly stood at the door and said, Daddy. And then you went back and picked him up. So now you're going to claim that little Benjamin, he likes to have parts in his head? Nonsense. We know those parts were only for one person. Yes? And we know that person was not Megan. I know Megan didn't say, hey, Tim, put some parts in his head. Put some parts in your little 1-year-old boy's head. Yes? That was all based upon your own vanity, Tim, yes? I guess you figured if you messed up, it wouldn't make a difference. Okay, and of course you proceeded to mess up. All right, fortunately, little Benjamin doesn't have any vanity yet, fortunately. Now, if you had messed up on one of the other boys' head, now we know you've been pushing their edge-ups back, yes? When you've been lining them up. You've been pushing back their hairlines, we already know that. But other than that, those other boys probably have a little bit of vanity. And so if you put some parts in their head and mess it up, except for little Noah, because he's still fulfilling that label. When you label him as being an empty vessel, he's still fulfilling that. So except for little Noah, those other boys, they would probably show a little bit of disappointment if you forced them to have parts and if you went it and you proceeded to mess up the parts. Yes? But good gracious. But what else? What else has he been up to? Is that right? So he took some of his precious content time to complain about his tape measure. Okay, and so now when he's complaining about the tape measure, was he really actually trying to solicit? Was he dry begging for an additional donation from some of his steady supporters? Which was it? Who focuses their content on a tape measure? He said, I got this tape measure. Okay, I don't remember him saying I bought this tape measure. Okay. And now, even if he said, I bought it, I would question whether he bought it with the gift cards that were sent to him by some of his readiest of Tim writers, some of his donors. But he focuses on this tape measure. It's a fancy tape measure. Trust me, that's a nice tape measure. And he says, well, it broke off. The end broke off of it. Okay. And so, of course, in the background, you could hear the undertone here is, please, someone send me a new one. Send me a new one. Send me a new one. Yes. And there are plenty of homesteaders out there that get donations from their subscribers. Yes. Plenty of them. The only difference I see is usually the homesteaders, they actually thank their subscribers for sending them donations. And they thank them on film, of course. Otherwise, we wouldn't know about it. Okay. Tim is the only supposed homesteader. Yes. The only supposed homesteader that does not thank his subscribers, because he wants the rest of us to believe that he's prosperous. He wants the rest of us to believe that he's winning on his own. Yes, that he's succeeding on his own. That he built up this $1 million brand on his own. That he accumulated his 6-figure internet business on his own. Yes. So he can't give his followers any credit for their donations, their tips, their gifts, or their offerings. Not even for their tithes. Good gracious, Tim. Good gracious. But he's complaining about this tape measure. Of course, we see that it was operator error. Yes. Okay. Now, most of us do not have to take training on how to use a tape measure. Okay. But we know if we're using it incorrectly, we're using it in an awkward fashion. Okay. They do break. They do break. They absolutely do break. Okay. It's very thin sheet metal. It's a couple of rivets in it, but otherwise it's very thin sheet metal. Okay. It is durable. Okay. They can take some beating. Okay. But if you misuse it and you abuse it, similar to how you misused and abused your mama, okay, eventually they do fracture. Yes. Just like your relationship with your mama has fractured. Yes. Just like your relationship with your family has fractured. Yes. But what else? Has he been up to anything? Anything else noteworthy? Anything? No. Well, all right. Welcome back to the end game, where today I'm going to give my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about building up the mobile home to be the best mobile home you've seen this side of Mississippi. Unfortunately, that's not saying much. It's not saying much, okay? Especially with the shed siding. And we've already seen in the sneak peeks, in the sneakaboos or the previews, we've already seen the finished product for the mobile home. And it's unimpressive. I'm sorry, it's unimpressive. Okay, you still got that. In this video, you still have that raggedy old roof up there, the tinfoil roof that your family's been suffering through. Okay, that was adequate for your family for 2 years. Talk about being obedient to God. For 2 years, they suffered underneath that roof, yes? Mold and mildew behind the wall. Insulation being molded. Wires being short-circuited. House being all sweaty and musty. For 2 years. Okay? So we've seen the finished product of the siding, the shed siding attached to your mobile home. Okay, we're unimpressed by it. It's unimpressive. Okay? But I'm going to give my reaction to that video here. All right, so Tim starts out the video. I guess he said the Old Faithful, the raggedy old truck wouldn't start or what have you. Okay. But he said, well, normally, you would use the truck in order to bag up the trailer. Hold on. You're supposed to be the principal of IAG. You're supposed to be filling in gaps for those boys. And you're talking about bagging up a trailer? Bagging up? What are we doing? What are we doing? I know you're not teaching Ebonics over there. Yes? Yes. Okay, now if you were a black man, yes, if you had acknowledged, okay, that you were supposedly black, yes, at some point, but we know you denounced the fact that you were black, yes? Okay, but if you were black, I would accuse you of teaching those boys Ebonics. Okay, talking about bagging stuff up. The boys listen, they're learning, okay, so you should be in that, and we know that you force those boys to watch these videos, yes? We know that they watch the videos on loop. Okay, and so they're gaining their literacy. They don't only gain their literacy when they're in the classroom, yes? They also gain literacy when they're listening to their mom and their dad, yes? And so for you to be out there talking about, instead of saying backing up the trailer, you're talking about bagging up the trailer? That's irresponsible, yes? Especially as the principal, yes? But tell us more. Oh, and by the way, also in this snippet, he talked about the fact that he finally finished the front, putting the siding up on the front of the trailer. On the front of the trailer. And he talked about the fact that it took him 5 days. 5 days. What is that? Is that like one panel per day? How many breaks did you take in between? Good grace. 5 days? Is that something to be proud of? And you claim that, you went to Megan and you say, well, Megan, I'm not satisfied with putting up one side. Yes. Okay. Although Megan, my initial intent was to have the house stretch wrapped. Yes. And I was going to leave that weather wrapped. And my initial plan was to leave that weather wrap up there for the next several months, Megan. It's only the roofing guys that prompted me to finish off the siding. And so Megan knew that, okay, well, if he puts up the siding on the front, he might just leave it like that. Okay. Knowing the history of my husband, Tim, knowing his history, knowing his tendencies, he might just put up siding on one side of the house and leave it like that. But Tim claimed that he implied to Megan that no, he's not satisfied with just one side. I'm actually going to go ahead and put up more siding. Okay, so that I can move further, I can move closer to someday actually siding the entire house. Major accomplishment. One side, 5 days, take a break. Tell us more, Tim. Tell us more.
All right, y'all, that was a weird start to the morning because I've been needing to get batteries in Old Faithful in our farm truck, but I hadn't had time to do it. Like I said, because y'all know what I've been been doing, but I need to go and get those batteries because it takes 2 good batteries to start these diesels, really any diesel, really. And I think one of my batteries are bad, and I probably could charge it, but like I said, I just hadn't had time to do any of those things. So I think this is my first time that I bagged up a trailer without a truck. Like I bagged the trailer up from behind, like I pulled it to where I needed it to go. But the reason that I did that is because this morning we're about to try to attack this side right here. Y'all saw that I got a major accomplishment done, which is the front of the house. I actually did that in 5 days in 1 week. And so, yeah, I'm super excited because I accomplished that goal. And it's like after I accomplished that goal, I told Megan, I said, you would think I'll be satisfied.
Now, Tim admits it. There it is. At least he admits it. Yes, he's a little bit self-aware. He admits that, okay, he felt at one point, he felt like, well, just riding off into the sunset. After he completed one side of a 4-sided house. Yes. He felt like riding off into the sunset. Okay. All right. And so he said, well, no, Jesus, give me more. Jesus, give me more. All right. And of course, we know it was the other way around. Yes. And it actually was, it would be more accurate to say that Jesus was saying, Tim, give me more. Yes. You owe more to your family. You owe more to those boys. Yes. Rather than just finishing off one side and leaving it. Okay. Like you weather wrapped that barn and left it like that for a couple of years. Okay. So he's talking about, well, Jesus, give me more. I want to do more. And so he's like, well, no, he's going to keep on going. He's actually going to go ahead and try to complete a second side of the house. Yes. A second side with the siding. Oh, good gracious, Tim. But tell us more. Tell us more.
You would think I would just sit down. You would think I would just ride off into the sunset. But it's like, no, give me more. The Bible talks about if someone compels you to go 1 mile, you say, give me more. It's in the Beatitudes. I think it's Matthew chapter 5. But it says, somebody compels you to go 1 mile with them. You say, give me more. And you say, let's go 2. You know what I'm saying? So we got this one side done. And I'm telling Jesus, give me more. You know what I'm saying? Beast mode. Let's do 2. And I'm hoping that I can get this side done today or get pretty close. Like I said, I'm really trying to get it done today. And because we actually have, I don't know if y'all saw the video or not, but
all right. So of course Tim starts in on rambling about the progress. He gets in, he talks about hopefully he's going to be able to side up all the sides. And then he's hoping that he's going to be able to get the caulking done as well, and then it'll be sealed up for them to go on their vacation. Plus the roof is coming. He says it's coming on Tuesday. All right, which Tuesday we don't know. Okay, would that be Tuesday, June the 18th, or Tuesday, July the 20th? Which Tuesday are we talking about? Okay, because certainly we're not talking about Tuesday in August or Tuesday in September. All right, but he talks about the siding and how it'll be sealed up, and it's supposed to be an 1/8-inch gap or 3/16, et cetera, et cetera. He goes through all this nonsense. Now, we can't help but notice that, of course, as usual, the windows of the house are sweating. They're steamed up. Yes, and now this looks like it's the patio door that we're seeing in this shot. Okay, but we've seen just about every other door in that house sweating. Yes, and so we know where there's sweat, there's moisture. Yes, and where there's moisture that goes unattended to, then of course there's mold as well. Yes, but obviously the family has been used to this for a few years now. They've been accustomed to it. So I guess they just keep on stepping at this point. All right, but for us viewers, we want to know, when are you going to address the ventilation issues in that house? Yes. Okay, supposedly this is going to be the best looking mobile home that side of Mississippi, even though it's going to mimic your shed, even though your house is going to look like a shed. There's got to be other mobile homes in that area that actually look like mobile homes. Yes, there's got to be. Okay, but tell us more, Tim. Tell us more.
Revealed to y'all if I'm gonna do the roof yet, or if the roofers, the contractors are gonna do the roof. But that video is coming pretty soon. Like I said, because the roof is gonna get started. I guess I can tell y'all now. But we're gonna go ahead and get the contractors to do the roof, and they're supposed to be coming next week on Tuesday. And the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking because we're about to get ready to go on this big long family vacation, and we want to have this house. Like, I think I can be done with the LP siding and all the trim. And then with us contracting out the roof will be done. And I think that I may be able to caulk everything and maybe paint. Don't hold me to the paint part, but I really would like to get everything caulked, sealed up from any water. Like I say, it's not gonna hurt anything for the spaces, because y'all know, if you didn't see the other videos, let me show you. Because on this particular type of siding, they want you to leave gaps. I'm gonna find a good one right here. They want you to leave a 3/16 gap. That's more of probably like a 1/8 gap. They want you to leave a gap about that big right there. 3/16 is like a little bit smaller than 1/4. That's what I've been trying to remember. But they want you to leave a gap going around all that trim. Like I said, because this LP Smart Siding is a wood product. It has a resin in there that keeps it from rotting, keeps it bug resistant. You can smell it too. Like once you get it up, it's like it activates the resin. But it also, like, because it's a wood product, it expands and contracts based off the weather. And so they want you to leave a 3/16-inch gap in between your siding and your trim, and that's an expansion gap. Because without that expansion gap, the wood can bow. So if it expands this way and it's hitting against this, it'll bow right here. To give it relief. But I'm not sure how that works because it's nailed in all over the place. So I probably would have been fine butting it up, but I'm doing it based off the manufacturer's recommendations. Trying to do it.
All right, Tim talks about how the siding is supposed to be applied and the proper gapping that's supposed to be applied. And he talks about trying to do it the right way. He already acknowledged that he did not affix the siding properly on the shed known as Ernest, but he's talking about doing this the right way and following instructions. Yes, and he's talking about, well, if you're going to videotape something, make sure that you do it the right way. Like, all right, Tim, there we go. And that's why you have so many supposed demons around you. Yes. And he's saying, well, if you're going to do it the wrong way, make sure that you monetize. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Finally, IAG style revealed. Yes. Okay, because we've been watching you do things the wrong way for years now. Years. And of course, we know that you've been monetized for years now. Years. Yes. And so Tim is implying that as long as it's monetized, okay, the initial objective, the primary objective, is to make money to profit ourselves. Yes. So it doesn't matter whether we do it the right way or the wrong way. Yes. Forget about the fact that some of our woeful worshipers are trying to learn from us. Yes. Forget about that. I'm not sure who is trying to learn from my coach. I'm not sure. But I'm sure there's plenty of steady supporters that are picking up little tidbits here and there, yes? But he's saying, regardless of me teaching you guys, giving you guys a tutorial on how to do things the wrong way, yes? Yeah, how to be married the wrong way. How to be a parent the wrong way. How to be a head of the household the wrong way. How to be an honoring son the wrong way. Okay? Not only am I teaching you guys how to do things the wrong way, okay, but because I clearly don't care, I want to remind you guys that this is all about the monetization. Yes? Yes? All about the monetization. But tell us more, Tim. Tell us more.
Trim, and that's an expansion gap, because without that expansion gap, the wood can bow, so if it expands this way and it's hitting against this, it'll bow right here, to give it relief. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure how that works because it's nailed in all over the place, so I probably would have been fine buttoning it up, but I'm doing it based off the manufacturer's recommendations. Trying to do it the right way. I do stuff the right way. I don't rig stuff up. So we gotta do stuff the right way on IAG Farms. Got the world watching. people are trying to learn from me. So I'm doing this. This is a tutorial. Tim teaching a tutorial, this morning on IAG Farms about how to do stuff the right way. And if you don't do stuff the right way, don't record it. If you don't do stuff the right way, don't record it. If you don't do stuff the right way, don't record it. If you don't do stuff the right way, don't record it. And then if you do record it, make sure you monetize it if you're doing it the wrong way. So if you're gonna get scrutinized, make sure you get monetized. And then if you do record it, make sure you monetize it if you're doing it the wrong way. So if you're gonna get scrutinized, make sure you get monetized.
All right, so even though Tim admits that he's been doing things the wrong way, yes, he's been using a bootleg approach to his carpentry around that mobile home, especially with regard to the siding. And so he's trying to be a little bit more disciplined in following the directions, following proper instruction, proper application on the siding, putting primer on the cut edges, yes, so that the siding doesn't swell or what have you, yes. And so even though he has acknowledged that he's been doing things the wrong way, he's been trying to, tighten things up just a little bit. Yes. But now, Tim, we've already seen the finished product, Tim. Okay. And so now when he's walking us through and he's telling you guys what he's going to do with the trim work and what he's going to do with the roofing and what, Tim, at this point, no one really cares because you acknowledge that you're telling people the wrong way to do things. Okay. You've acknowledged to them that your focus is on monetization. And so why are you giving us details on a finished mobile home siding project that we've already seen? We don't need the details. Why are you telling us all the things that you did incorrectly? All the things that you fudged? Yes, all your bootleg carpentry. Why are you even sharing that with us? It's a little bit irresponsible for you to share that with some of your Ready Tim writers. Okay? Considering the fact that some of them may try to duplicate your efforts. Yeah, so they too can have a mobile home that looks like their shed. It's what I can't take anymore.
Feeling good. I need to get to work. But yeah, so let me go ahead. The first thing I need to do is detach the roof. Of course, there are screws attaching that metal roof up there. Get the roof detached. And then after I get the roof detached, I need to go ahead and put my trim on this corner over here, and then trim out around this window here. And then once I get all that trim done, then I can start laying my boards, because I'm gonna have whole sheets, and then I'm gonna have 2 sheets at the top for the gable end. And so I need to figure out exactly where that cut mark is gonna be at. And so I should be good. And we putting a piece of trim on that cut mark because it should fall above that window. But a lot of amazing things going on, y'all. Like I say, I'm in beast mode today, up early this morning, and we're gonna try to get this thing done, because I think if I can get this done, I think today, like grinding it out today on an early morning, on a day where
I can't take anymore. That's it for my reaction to that recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about the best looking mobile home that side of Mississippi. Please like, comment, subscribe, chop it up. I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.